Martinez, and today we're talking about mind power and living the dream. Don't go away, I'll be right back. Okay, living the dream and mind power. You know, that's an expression. First of all, I used to be an EMT. I used to work in ambulances, and I remember going around, taking people into the hospital, seeing other EMTs, and they'd always have this sour face on, and you'd say, "Hey, how's it going?" "Living the dream," right? They used to put this sour face, and I couldn't understand why you would say that expression, when you're, obviously it was a sarcastic remark, but the bottom line is, how does that phrase, living the dream, affect us if we're looking to use our mind to develop ourselves and to direct our lives? Well, interestingly enough, and you know what we've been talking about in the last few videos, we've been talking about feelings and how feelings and what you have in your mind project what it is that you want. Interestingly enough, here's what I'm going to tell you. There was a gentleman named Neville Goddard, and Neville's has passed away back in, I believe, 1973, but he was a guy that was very much into manifestation, very much into the mind, very much into mystical things. He was one of the pioneers here in the United States. Actually, he was born in the Bahamas, but came over here in the United States, and he really made a history for himself, made a name for himself because of what he was teaching. One of the teachings that I remember hearing him, and this was through a recording, I wasn't into that. I was a young kid at that time when he was teaching his stuff, but I remember hearing his explanation of the word, the name Jehovah. Now, the name Jehovah is written in the Hebrew scriptures as the name of the supreme being, the name of God, and it's represented by four images or four letters in the Hebrew alphabet, which is called the tetragram. Now, the tetragram, according to what Neville Goddard was teaching, was Yod Hey Vad Hey. That was YHWH, and that's what spelled out the name Jehovah or the name Yahweh, and both of them are interchangeable, right? But according to Neville Goddard, those particular characters in the Jewish in the Hebrew language represent Yod Hey Vad Hey, represent see it real, feel it real. So that's what a lot of people that talk about the power of the mind, and that's what he was saying. The name Jehovah, the name Yahweh, actually is the process of creation. See it real, feel it real. So a lot of times I get people, one of the biggest questions I get is, how am I supposed to put myself in a position where I'm feeling something that I've never felt before, right? That I've never experienced before. So in other words, you're thinking, I am going to be a successful businessman. How do I get to that point? How do I feel that if I've never been there? I don't know. I don't experience that. Here's the bottom line. First of all, the one thing you got to remember is that imagination and the feeling, bringing that feeling out, is a process. It's not going to happen, chances are, it's not going to happen the very first time you do it. But you have to kind of refine that. So you start by creating the picture. You start by creating the image in your mind, the movie in your mind. And then you start by systematically adding a bunch of different feelings, the actual feelings in your body. You're going to add, obviously the feeling of sight, right? Or the sense of sight. And then you're going to add the feelings that you feel in your body, and then you're going to add hearing, and you're going to incorporate the five senses in there. Now, again, this happens in a systematic way. Maybe today, the very first time you go out there to step into that feeling, you want to step into it and just add one of the senses, right? What am I actually seeing as that person that's living that life, living the dream, right? And then you're going to systematically tomorrow, and maybe, you know what, maybe today you're just adding 5 seconds of that thought. Maybe it's just a 5-second window, a 5-second movie there. And tomorrow, maybe it'll be 10 seconds. And tomorrow, and the day after, maybe you got 15 seconds. And now you're putting this bigger, stepping into it action, and you start adding the other senses that you had before. That is what is critically important. Now, understand it doesn't happen the very first time. Understand it's a process. Understand you're going to have to put some time into it and actually, develop this. Now, another critically important point is that I get people that ask me all the time, am I seeing myself as if I'm in a theater and I'm seeing a movie, or am I seeing myself as if my own eyes, I'm right there, I'm in the moment? Which is the best visualization technique is? And the best visualization technique is to be there in the moment. Don't sit and as if you are seeing yourself walking through the park, or seeing yourself in the business meeting, or seeing yourself kissing the person that you want to kiss. You want to be there. You want to feel the kiss in your lips. You want to be the person that's looking through your eyes, looking at the situation. If you're visualizing for a competition, you're going to do a marathon. You don't see yourself hitting the finish line. You feel you are the person. You see through your own eyes that finish line coming and breaking through on your chest. This is how you do it, right? So, number one, remember it's a process. Remember it's something that you're not going to develop the very first time. It's a picture, it's a motion picture that's under process, and you are the one that needs to put that together. And you need to add as many senses as you can. Also, remember that you're doing it in the state of being. Not the state of I'm watching this happen to myself. No. You are there looking at it through the person and first person right there. Okay? And the next thing is this, guys. And here's a critically important thing. Very, very important to this living your dream thing. If you are out there, let me put it to you this way. What if somebody came to you, a director of a movie, and said, listen, I want you to act as if you are falling in love with this person here, and I want you to be fully into it. I'm going to pay you $1 million to do that, right? Would you find a way to act that, right? If you knew the prize was going to be $1 million, if you knew the reward was going to be $1 million, would you find a way to be that person? Would you find a way to step into that situation? Would you find a way for even a momentary period, just live that life, live that dream? A lot of people say, yeah. So you got to pretend in your own mind that you are being offered this, that you are an actor and you are going to step into this particular act, and you need to feel it. You need to act it. You know, one of the and this was in a separate, actually it might have been in the same one where I heard Neville Goddard talk about that distinction about the name Jehovah and see it real, feel it real. He talked about a gentleman in the UK that every day was going out and getting excited. He was looking at his lottery ticket saying, yes, I won. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I won. Right? And every day he would put himself in there. Every day he would feel that. And guess what happened? He went and hit the lottery. Right? I think it was something like $100,000, but we're talking back in the 60s, back in the late 60s, early 70s. That was, like $1 million today. But he did that. He did that because he knew that if he got into the state, he would be able to feel that feeling, and that's the vibration that you want to get. You don't get what you want. You get what you are. And you want to be the person that is living the dream. If you can get yourself to live the dream, you're going to live the dream. If you can get yourself to live the dream, you are going to live the dream. And it's something that you do systematically, something that you do a little bit of every day, something that, you know, you're out there. And you can do this with anything, right? I'm a successful business person. I am a successful husband. I am a successful wife. I am a successful mother. I am a successful father. I'm a successful teacher. I'm a successful online marketer. I'm a successful whatever. You can act the part. You can become that person if you start living the dream. You need to start living the dream. That is what this message is today. And I'm telling you, if you do it and you break it down systematically, and again, you know what, guys? I don't have my journal here, but I usually carry my journals actually in my next room, which is my bedroom. You need to be able to write these things down, and you need to not only write them down, but write them down with specific intent, with specific senses. I can see myself blank, blank, blank. I can feel myself blank, blank, blank. I feel the excitement of blank, blank, blank. You need to describe these things, because if you could write that down and describe it, you're going to start generating that feeling. When you generate the feeling, when you start living the dream, you start vibrating that out to the universe. And that is what brings the dream to you. Start living the dream. My name is Mike Martinez. Put this stuff into action. Make this something that, you know what? I am going to start turning my life around. I'm going to gain massive control. I'm going to gain more control than the average person is, because you know what? They think that that's living the dream. Oh, what a dream. Don't be like my EMT friends that were, you know, taking that expression as a joke. Take that expression seriously. Start living the dream today, a little bit at a time. And you start expanding on that tomorrow. And you start adding to it tomorrow. And I'm telling you, you're going to live the dream. My name is Mike Martinez. I'll be seeing you in the next video.